Hey guys, AKREX here, and right now we're going to look at some of the kits that I have picked out from DAN'S DINOSAURS website. In this video we will look only at 1 to 20, 1 to 10 and 1 to 1 scale. And one of the kits will also be like in unknown category, I guess, because I don't actually know what exact scale it fits, but we can do the math off the camera later on when we finish the video. Um, Before we proceed, I would recommend grab a ruler or a measuring tape, and ideally if it has both the metric and the empirical, whatever it's called, scale, and just so that we can sit and while we look at sizes and etc., we can also get an idea of how they measure up. So pause the video, get your ruler or measuring tape, and then come back and continue playing the video. So now that you're back, let's look at the first one, up to 300, and that exactly hits the ceiling. This is Oloro Titan by Lu Fenshan, who is a very nice and talented sculptor. I personally am a big fan of his work, but unfortunately his other really amazing and outstanding prices in this scale are just, in my opinion, a little too pricey for 1 to 20 scale. But again, each to their own, and I would say this is a very gorgeously detailed kit. Whether it's worth 300 bucks for you or not, it's up to yourself to decide. It's a very big bit of a 50-50 here. It really depends, but I'd say it's an absolutely gorgeous piece. It's definitely worth it considering, you know, and I think it's actually, if it's probably the largest Oloro Titan we get on the market at the moment. I don't think there's been any more Oloro Titans of this size or bigger done to this date. Now let's move on to the next one down. That's already 260 bucks for a Pentaceratops by the same artist as well. And you see it's 14 inches in length, which it's, you know, it's not that huge, I would say. It's not massive. It's still kind of hefty, but not really that hefty. And very well detailed. And it's got all these different osteoderms. It's a very nice detail of the skin. Some bigger scutes as well, just like ceratopsids normally do, as they are known to have these kind of scales as well. Nice nostrils, overall nice design of the beak and everything. Horns are amazing, so I think it's a very nice and pose as well, by the way, with this as if it's like walking, so really good in my opinion. I would say it's kind of reaching towards the balance point of where, you know, with the price versus quality, given the size scale. So I'd say it's a very nice kind of draw towards the compromise here, especially if you're into ceratopsids and want to go, you know, relatively average size, so to speak, rather than going completely large or too small. This is a Baryonyx kit made by MO Models. Sorry about the background noise if you hear something, it's probably somebody's dropped items. Now we've got 260, as I said here, 50 centimeters or 20 inches long, which I think is actually quite good for a Baryonyx kit. It's very nice. It's also got a base, of course. It's got a, it looks like it might have something here, maybe a nest, or it could just be something else. It looks like it's a nest, but I can't really tell. There's something here as well. Line could be a dead fish or something, whatever, but very nicely detailed base anyway, so let's just actually just continue browsing. Oh, is that what I think it is? Wait, hold on a sec. Okay, that's a close-up of the face. As you can see, it doesn't, of course, have a whole lot of detail, just a few, and but I think given a good paint job, you would actually be able to cheat somehow and make it look, you know, more enhanced than it does when it's in a grayscale. Of course, we don't have any evidence of the spines, so like it's up to yourself if you want to keep them, or you could potentially take them off. Of course, as for osteoderms, I would probably not touch it, but then again, because there's no evidence of osteoderms being present, but then again, it's just an overall gorgeous looking kit, and for 1 to 20 scale, it's a good compromise between the detail and the size, you know, in my opinion, and just the general composition of it looks quite nice. So it's definitely among the lists that I could probably recommend in my personal opinion. Now let's go next one down. That's 250, Carnotaurus by Lu Fenshan, as we've seen his Pentaceratops and his other Oloro Titan, so let's look at that. Only one picture of a painted model, but overall very nice, very accurate and consistent with what we know from the evidence. Very well proportioned as well, and gives you a very nice idea of what a Carnotaurus would look like. You know, it's a very nice model. I would personally say for 1:20 scale, definitely recommend it. And what's the size? It says it's 16. It's almost basically 17 inches, which again I think it's pretty good, pretty awesome. So let's go down further. And we've got this Corythosaurus, although there is no Corythosaurus canadiensis to my knowledge. I don't think there is such as this. The Casuarius, yes, Casuarius is the known type species, and it looks like this what it is. I think canadiensis was done by mistake. So if anybody, well, I mean, maybe I could speak with Dan later on to see if he is willing to correct it, because I don't think this is a correct name for the Corythosaurus. It should be Casuarius. But 230 bucks for an 18 inches sized model, very nice. I think we're getting to the point where we are very well balanced. So if you really want a Hadrosaurid in this size scale, and but you don't wanna spend like 300 bucks for that Oloro Titan, you could probably get something that looks somewhat, well, similar, given the fact that they're both crested animals. And yeah, I mean, look at this. It's also quadrupedal, so it means you can just put it on your shelf and it probably shouldn't fall down. I haven't personally handled this kit, I haven't had the chance. If anybody, of course, gets it and wants me to assemble and paint it, I'm willing to offer up my service. I can negotiate through the Facebook group that if you are my subscriber, you would have subscribed to that as well. But I'll include the link in the description below. So yeah, I mean, only in that case, once I get to handle, if at all, this kit, then I can tell you whether or not it's possible to keep it, held up like this without it toppling over. But I suspect it will be possible. I don't see why not. Anyway, let's go down, and we've got 220 bucks for a Coeliceratops. Very nice, also by Lu Fengshan. 12 inches now, so that's a foot long model. And one of the things, of course, is the detail. That's one of the things I would definitely say it's where it makes up for the size. It's for a 1:20 scale, it's extremely well detailed. It's got these gorgeously made horns, which are the characteristics of this dinosaur. Very nice Cosmosaurin Ceratopsid for your collection in 1:20 scale. That's all I can say. And I'm pretty sure it will look great along that Entaceratops as well. But if you want to obviously start with the good Ceratopsid into the 1:20 scale, this is a good piece as well. Now let's go 220 again, but this time we are looking at Euplocephalus, and the length is almost 12 inches as well, just about. And my personal opinion is that armored dinosaurs are particularly great when it comes to painting them and on how you can make them look. So I definitely say it's a worthy kit. There aren't many, in fact I don't even know if there are any Euplocephalus in that scale or larger. I haven't seen any personally. Let me know if you have. Yeah, definitely good investment too if you are collecting 1:20 scale. Now let's go one down, and we have for 200 bucks a Utaranus Huali, and that one is 18 inches. So I think it's one of the best bargains for the price versus the detail and just how the model looks. It's an absolutely gorgeous model. There's a painted version that is available for sale here, so we can just open that up just to get an idea of what the kit actually looks like, because there are no alternative pictures for it. But as you can see, the price goes up by 100 bucks, but that's okay. We're only interested to see some close-up shots of it, like this one here, for example. So yeah, we can see that there's a visible fenestrine here, which is something that I always have a problem with when it comes to sculpting creatures. And another thing I would also add is that to our knowledge, the filamentous coats are known to be widespread all the way on the tail, the bottom, everything, like here. Basically it should pretty much cover it all the way down here, and up to this point. So there's obviously some sparse moments, but I think it's not a bad error here, because there are many ways to interpret this particular finish. You could interpret it as if the animal may have lost some of its coat, or maybe it loses it based on seasons, and when obviously there is a bit more wet, and potentially if there is a known season change within the Yixian formation, you could probably interpret it in multiple ways, because when it comes to filamentous covers, there is obviously this little chance. It's just I'm just trying to make this choice for them to be a bit more defensible. That's from my point of view anyway. Whether it's true or not, I don't take my word for it. I'm just kind of trying to generate some ideas of how you could interpret it, and to further justify getting this kit, because as a model itself, it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's great price, $200 as well for a kit that's 18 inches long, and beautiful pose, nice base as well. Definitely say it's worthy. Of course, next one down, it's $190, just a $10 difference, but we've got this 25 and 21 and a half inch long Torvosaurus. I would imagine it's a Torvosaurus tanneri, but it doesn't specify, I think. We don't see, yeah, we don't have any specifications, but let's just take a look at it here. There are more pictures of it, so you can see it's a multi-part, like so. And it's got a tail separated, so the head and the rest of the body is a single piece for this scale. Looks like it's a very good choice Shane made in sculpting that. That saves you extra time from having to put any extra material to even out these potential seam lines, or, you know, join areas, to not make them look too awkward. And of course the paint job, as brilliantly done here, I would presume by Shane himself as well. That's also helping you to hide any potential flaws in, if there are any, in the casting or the seam lines or whatever else you can think of, joints, areas. So very well done overall, aside from visible fenestry again, and obviously these slightly out of date facial integument, to my understanding. Again, the pictures are quite small, but based on what I'm seeing, if it doesn't get lost, I would probably say, yeah, that's the only things that need to be updated a little bit. But generally, if you have the putty, you could actually sculpt on top of it and just convert it a little bit, and you would basically solve the problem. It's a minor piece, and I don't think, you know, for this amount of work, which is minimal, to convert it into something for the snout to be a bit more accurate to the modern reconstructions, because this was done, you know, in 2011, so that's quite a long time ago, way before we start getting all these papers dropping in to show us, you know, facial integuments of theropods and stuff. So yeah, I would say good bargain, really go for it. And we don't have any other, at least not that many, if at all, Torvosaurus resin kits this far. So Shane also has this thing about offering very good combination of quality versus price. He's very good with that, so I definitely say consider this model. Next one down, Woolly Mammoth Resin Kit by Balio Crafts, also very nice. We've got 12 inches length, so foot long mammoth basically kit overall. We got a painted version next to the blank resin version, detailed base. You can add some extra effects as well with the plants. Very nice detail work on the wool and all of that stuff, so I'd say definitely go for that if you're into the mammals or any other kind of specific things like mammoths or whatever. It's really good, and for $160 I'd say it's a good bargain. And next one down, for $150 here we have Dunkleosteus, also not particularly common to be found as a kit, so I think while they're still available, if you are into 1:20 scale, also worthy to get if you want to do like a timeline collection from different periods. That's definitely a good investment, you know, to start off with, like Devonian, Super Predator, and it's 15.5 inch long, so also very nice kit. I would say definitely recommend it. Next one down, $130 by Munive, I think. Sorry if I'm butchering the surname here. It's a Centrosaurus, so we got to about 1.5 feet roughly, so like not 1.5 feet, but like 12. Okay, 12 feet and half inch. There we go, 32 centimeters. Good for them to include an extra info for the metric scale here too. Thank you very much. And the only thing is that they say that the base is not included, so we have to bear that in mind. So it will probably just stand on its own very nicely. but it seems that this base was done as an extra. In any case, it's a very nice Centrosaurus overall, I would say, and I can see some detailing here protruding, so that's very good too. And overall, I'd say it's a very good kit, guys. What do you reckon? Good bargain as well. So let's go down, and we have 130 by Paleocraft Arsenal-Therium. Very nice. Doesn't say exactly how large it is, but given 1 to 20 scale, I would probably expect it to be not particularly large, because in 1 to 10 scale, it's about 35 maybe centimeters long already. So in one, yeah, it would probably be quite small in 1 to 20, but very nicely detailed. Got a base here as well, like this. Paleocraft seem to be very well known for making good bases for their kits, so it's a nice addition to having like these different Cenozoic creatures. And next one by Dan himself, I would presume, or was it sculpted by somebody else? I mean, I haven't really read all the descriptions all that much, unfortunately. I kind of regret not doing it. But, oh, wait a second. Yeah, it's Sean Cooper. Sorry, Sean Cooper. So yeah, he's done it for Dan, I presume. But it's done by Sean Cooper. I've heard of that name before. He's known to be a good paleo artist. So you're not gonna miss it. I would pretty sure it's not like a hit or miss. I'm pretty sure it's 100% hit. And you can see there's a clear resin water ripple as well. You can see if it's actually included in the kit, but I think it will be included. And of course it's an older reconstruction, because modern reconstruction shows that Ankylosaurus doesn't have the merged osteoderms on top here. They're still shown to be separate, but in any case it's a very nicely kit. Again, armored dinosaurs are very good at that when you paint them, they look extremely well detailed. So let's actually see what is included in the kit, if there is any way to tell. Right. Yeah, it doesn't really tell us whether or not this, I mean, it's a three-piece, so whether or not it's the body, I mean, the model itself, maybe the dinosaur itself might be a single piece, while the base and the ripple here might be other extra two pieces. So I'm not sure. Maybe worth asking Dan later on sometime, but again, very good Ankylosaurus. I'm happy with it. Now, here we're getting to the most interesting part, and I'll show you why. So this Empolotherium is done by Klat, and this is Vitaly Klat. I know who this is. He's a Russian paleo artist. And it's also 1 to 20 scale, so you're getting 20 centimeters for 120 bucks. I presume the base would probably be included. I would assume it does, but let's just look at what other pictures we have. So we got a twig here, so that's obviously included as part of the kit. I mean, the base itself is a tricky one. I don't actually know whether, they don't say exactly, but this is a bull, so it means that we are probably going to be getting more, which we are. So next picture, so this is 120, write that down. Then we've got 116 for the cow with a different pose as well. So this gives us only one picture. So this gives us what? 120 plus 116, 236. So that's for the pair. And then we have the baby for another 40. So that's basically just above 300, which is almost in the realm of this price range. You get a whole family of these Embolotheriums, which is really cool. It's just something to consider for you guys as well who want to get into collecting model kits in 1 to 20 scale. And by Lu Fengshan as well. Very nice Solidosaurus, lots of different osteoderms. We love osteoderms, of course, because we love armor. Armor is awesome. It's only 7 inches long though, so it's quite a small piece, I would say, for 100 bucks. But again, it's up to 300 price range. Very well detailed for the size, I would say, definitely. Like you can see every single piece is very nicely outlined. It's definitely worth looking into if you have spare 100 bucks. Now, Also by Vitalik Lat, we have for 80 bucks we have this Angevin, 19 centimeters long, and as you can see, because probably it's an mammal, he decided to give it lips, which is fair enough, I guess. And yeah, that would probably be from the same period as these Embolotheriums, to my understanding. So that's another thing to consider if you want to collect creatures from the same period and location. And of course we have this Australopithecus for 20 bucks here, that's running around, also done by Vitalik Lat. And we also have another Australopithecus just sitting doing stuff as well. So definitely worth, for 40 bucks you can get both of them. And what does it tell you? It's about, yeah, 2 inches tall, so it's quite a tiny one actually, but still quite good, I guess. So let's go. Next scale is 1 to 10 scale. So for 220, Greg Van Zel is, sorry again if I'm butchering the surname, Styracosaurus. This is something that I would at one point or another consider, because I collect and make 1 to 10 scale. So this is one of the reasons why at the moment I am not considering making Styracosaurus in this scale, because it's already being made by a different artist, so I just thought it was no point. Let's just say, of course, there is another way to do it, if I am to make one as well, but maybe in a slightly different pose. You could get them both, but we'll talk about that later, okay? In any case, 19 inches, which actually is quite interesting. Is it actually accurate though for 19 inches? I would have thought it's about 6 meters, but I will have to double check that. It could potentially be true to scale, but I am kind of reluctant to say that maybe it's not really, unless it's based on smaller individual, but I would say shouldn't Styracosaurus be within 5.5 and 6 meters long, and that kind of puts it at a lower grade at 19 inches. But in any case, I still think it's a nice model. It's got a nice wooden base, I presume, with that. So, only thing is you would have to wait. It seems like it's a couple weeks waiting time for it, which might be a bit inconvenient for some, but I think it shouldn't really bother you. You just wait for it and let it come whenever it comes. That's just my way of looking at things. And for the same price as well, slightly longer, Aniosaurus. Now, as far as Aniosaurus is concerned, I'm pretty sure that Aniosauruses were supposed to be a little bit smaller than Styracosaurus, but again, I'll have to look that up, but I think that's what they were. And looks like it's quite nicely done as well. It's got some bigger scutes for the scales, some skin folds in some areas. So lots of area to work with as far as the spacing goes. You can definitely do some nice painting for it. And of course, next one down for 170 bucks, and that's the one I'm personally considering at the top of my list at the moment to get, is done by Shane, this Scutosaurus, 1 to 10 scale as well, as I said before. And it's got a nice base for it. It's got this really beautiful, like, Gorgonopsid skull. Pose is amazing, all these armor, osteoderms. This is just basically a must-have kit for 1 to 10 scale collectors, in my opinion. So I definitely think I might be saving up for this kit. And when I get it, I'm gonna invite Shane to do the interview on the channel. So let me know in the comments below if you want me to do an interview with Shane Fox. And also the way I am gonna be doing it, if and when. I mean, Shane has already shown interest, so it's just a matter of arranging it, and I will invite Aram as well to co-host. Aram, as in the guy who we played the Isle with back in back a couple months. You'll remember him very well. And yeah, we can definitely have a go at that and chat about polio art and work, and specifically his pieces as well. But before we do that, I want to make sure that I actually have one of his pieces on me. Now, next one down for 160 bucks. 1 to 10 scale Tyrannosaurus Rex piece. So it's a very nicely done model. I would say it's definitely going to be very well for somebody who wants a wall mount, and it's very nicely painted for the demo, I presume by Shane himself, because he always has a very good choice for color schemes, I noticed. So Again, well done, Shane. You can see that there's already at least 2 kits that are among my favorites that are featuring Shane. So let's go one down for DAN'S Dinosaurs and let's guess who sculpted it. Shane! That's another one I want to get for 150 bucks. It's got a nice base with a Dictadon or Dicinodon or whatever. Let's actually check to see what's included. There we go. So we've got this piece here that's coming out, then we've got the Garganops pieces right here. Very nicely done with the keys and everything. And you've got the base. Lovely jubbly. And I can see it here. It's a very nicely detailed kit overall. Definitely worth investing. So it could be either one actually. It could be either Gorgonops or the Scudosaurus that I might get. I think I might probably even get a Garganops just because, well, it's 10 bucks cheaper, so less to save. But well, wait, not is it 10 bucks? No, it's 150. This one is 170. So yeah, it's 20 bucks cheaper. Yeah, I would probably say it's hard to... Oh my goodness, I hate when it happens to me. Anyway, you get the idea, guys. Gorgeous kit, 13 inches long, sculpted by Shane. Good, once again, good value for the money. As always, with Shane, it seems to be the case. And, of course, Vitaly Klad with a very gorgeous Eriops. Also another one I would definitely consider getting. In fact, not consider, I might even get it at some point because it's only 80 bucks, so why not? It's an absolute sin to pass up to have an, this kind of amphibian and in a 1 to 10 scale. Absolutely perfect in my view. Very well to be added if you want to represent different periods of animals. Last one is 1-to-1 scale again. Surprise, surprise, by Shane. By 210 bucks, it's a juvenile Stegosaurus. That's a life-size Stegosaurus, which baby, I presume they decided. What does it say actually? No, it doesn't say how large it is exactly, but in any case, the fact that it's life-size should probably be a reason enough to get it, along with the fact that it's nicely sculpted and a very good price. Overall makes it a very good investment in my opinion, so definitely consider that if you're into 1-to-1 scale. Last kit here is this Machairodus versus Three-Toed Horse by Paleocraft, but it doesn't give you exact scale. It tells that it's 11 inches, but I don't actually have any clue in terms of what exactly is the scale of the animals. It's a nice looking kit. It looks to be on a smaller spectrum, obviously, but I don't think it's 1 to 10. It's probably smaller than 1 to 10. But in any case, also, if you guys happen to know or any information about what the actual size it would be in terms of the scale, so post in the comments below. Let me know in the comments as well if you want me to do more videos like this, and if you're new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe. Until then, I've been AkerX. Thanks for coming, thanks for watching. Take care, guys.